The day of the wedding of Scott Miller and Nation Azar has arrived, and so the Sims family gathers at First Unitarian Universalist Church of Los Angeles for the event.
Mrs. Sims, though we are having the wedding at this church, it will still be presided over by a Muslim imam, or clergyman. This is Imam Michael Akbar, who leads the services at the Islamic Center of Los Angeles.
It is a pleasure to meet all of you.
Are you sure you don't mind having the wedding here? I'm sure this place is nothing like a mosque.
Scott insisted we do the wedding here to make the non-Muslims among his relatives feel comfortable. I am happy to make such accommodations.
So where are your parents? Why aren't they here? Most of my relatives, including my parents, are still in Sudan and are too poor to afford a flight all the way from Africa to here. But they are all happy that I am getting married, especially after I told them of Scott becoming Muslim for my sake. I know it is customary for the groom and bride to receive gifts from others, but I actually have a gift for you, Vicky. A copy of the Quran in both Arabic and English. Thank you. I will study this when I get home. I plan to be a Unitarian Universalist minister when I am an adult, and I hope this Quran will help me understand Islam better.
By the glory of Allah, the Creator, the Merciful, I come to join this man, Scott Miller, and this woman, Aisha Nazar, in the union of marriage. Both of you have signed the legal documents establishing the marriage before the state of California, so now we will confirm the marriage in the eyes of Allah. Scott Miller, do you take Aisha Nazar to be your lawfully wedded wife, to be faithful and loving to her in all ways and under all circumstances, until death parts you?
I do.
Aisha Nazar, do you take Scott Miller to be your lawfully wedded husband, to be faithful and loving to her in all ways and under all circumstances, until death parts you?
I do.
Lucy Sims, please present the couple with their wedding rings.
Here they are.
And now I pronounce you two to be husband and wife, in the sight of Allah. You may now kiss. Not what I was expecting. Jews have very distinctive wedding practices. So I assumed Muslims did too.
I understand. But Scott and Aisha are Americans as well as Muslims, so they asked for a ceremony like what we as Americans would be familiar with. I came from Iran, a mostly Muslim country, and Iranians have their own wedding traditions. There is not a wedding plan specific to all Muslims.
It's great to see you and the rest of your family here, Suzanne. So how goes the progress of your father finding a cure for your blindness? He says my eye deterioration is irreversible, but he hopes he can replace them completely with a prosthetic implant. The device is still in the experimental stage, however. You mean like Gear de la Forge wore in Star Trek, The Next Generation? Cool. No, not cool. I always thought it ridiculous that they made his visor out of a woman's hair clip. What the hell were the producers thinking allowing that?
Scott, there's a woman outside the church waiting to see you. She says she is your mother. Mother? Scott then goes outside, along with Lucy, Daniel Gordon, Vicky Sims, and Aisha. Mother, why are you here? If you are trying to stop the wedding, you are too late. Aisha and I already exchanged our wedding vows.
I understand. And I am not here to oppose you in any way. I just wanted to say to you, to all of you, that I am sorry.
What are you sorry for?
For rejecting you. All these years I assumed you had been seduced by Satan and that Jehovah would punish you eventually for defying his will, but instead you found happiness and love with your own family. Before you, our father rejected the watchtower. And after you, my son. And somehow, you all have turned out well. It is I who seem to have lost out after all. I was so dedicated to winning others to Jehovah, yet I can't even keep my own family loyal to him. Clearly, I have failed as a daughter, a sister, and a mother.
Yes, you certainly failed me as a sister. When you rejected me for being lesbian, I almost died because of you, and I don't think I can forget what you did, not in a million years. The question I have for you now is, how could my being lesbian harm you? Also, how could Scott converting to Islam harm you? It was Jessica who showed me, finally, what true family love was when she introduced me to her parents and brother. They accepted me unconditionally, even as a black person who had just left a cult, and I passed on that same unconditional love to my father and my nephew. Their different religions don't justify rejecting either of them, Victoria. You and our mother were delusional fools.
You are right, Lucy, but you can't expect me to just abandon my fellow witnesses. I have so many friends among them, including ones I knew from childhood. I can't stand the thought of being disfellowshipped if I leave.
Victoria, if your so-called friends reject you for leaving, then they are not really your friends, are they? And I think it cowardly that you are unwilling to experience the sort of pain I had to go through when my own wife, your mother, rejected me, putting her loyalty to the watchtower ahead of our marriage.
Well, I have made my choice, just as you did, so maybe you should respect it. Anyway, I said what I came here to say, so now I will leave. Goodbye.
And so Victoria returned to Houston, Lucy and Vicky Sims returned to their town in Texas, Daniel Gordon returned to Nashville, and Scott and Aisha went on a honeymoon to her native country of Sudan to meet her relatives.